So over this past weekend, Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and the innovator behind many companies such as Boring Company, Starlink, SpaceX, has made an appearance on the Saturday Night Live as a host. And of course, many Dogecoin investors are just hoping that Elon would say something good about Dogecoin so that it can finally hit the moon or even exceed $1 per Dogecoin price. But unfortunately, it looks like the Dogecoin that was on the spaceship on the way to the moon didn't have enough fuel and it just fell down to the earth. And of course, today being the day that I make my YouTube videos, I went on and researched to see if there's anything that's happening. And of course, everybody is talking about Dogecoin and Elon Musk and how his parents didn't do so hot when it comes to the Dogecoin prices. So here it is. I'm finally gonna share my thoughts on Dogecoin and cryptocurrency as a general, as an investment vehicle, what my thoughts about it, and what I believe is to be the future of Dogecoin moving forward. And I will confess before we start the video to let you guys know that I'm still learning a lot about cryptocurrency and how they fit in the market, but I definitely see the vision behind how cryptocurrencies can be the future currency of the world's market. And what I'm also learning is how to get you guys to destroy the like button on this video, because it does help us out with our YouTube algorithm. But really guys, I really appreciate if you guys go ahead and destroy that like button. I mean, I would love to give you guys one fat kiss over the internet, but of course that's kind of wrong, so we're not gonna do that. Hey, what's going on guys? This is Kwak here, one of the Kwak Brothers. So I'm gonna go and finally break it to you guys and share my thoughts on Dogecoin or really any cryptocurrencies in general. Now, am I one of those guys where I feel like all cryptocurrency is trash? No, I do believe that there's a future and some use case where cryptocurrency will have its place, and I could definitely see a future where cryptocurrencies will be the normal case. But I don't think we're quite there yet, and to call it an investment, I don't know. I think it's too premature. And I actually have to agree with Jaspreet Singh over in Minority Mindset when he says that he doesn't want to invest in cryptocurrency. And I think he is right in a sense that a lot of people are investing in cryptocurrencies right now, mainly because for fun, or they just have extra money they just want to see. And a lot of it can be synonymous to gambling. And I know a lot of you guys who are investing in cryptocurrency or maybe day trading in cryptocurrency might believe that I'm completely wrong. So for many of you guys that bought Dogecoin or invested in Dogecoin for the past couple of days, hoping that it would hit the moon, you're probably wondering at this point, what just happened and why didn't it hit the moon? And again, I'm not an anti-Dogecoin person or anti-cryptocurrency at all. In fact, I hope cryptocurrency finds itself a home in a way that it becomes more valuable. But here's what I can say as far as what I believe happened over the weekend and why were so many people disappointed and how did we end up being here. Now, Dogecoin in itself didn't increase in value. It's not like Dogecoin has a product or a service that just launched and all of a sudden, boom, it's got a application or a use case that is beyond just being a cryptocurrency. Now, typically when you look at a stock or a company, that's typically how you'll weigh to measure the value of a company. How much value does the company produce? What products and services does it have that fulfill a need in the market? And that's typically how a value is assessed when it comes to the stock market. Now, as far as Dogecoin, it really hasn't hit a mainstream application yet. Sure, there are companies that accept Dogecoin as a form of payment, but it's nowhere near the place where we can go and shop for groceries and buy movie tickets. We're still in a place where we have to take Dogecoin and convert it back to US dollar to be able to actually buy something that's tangible and that is actually useful. So Dogecoin right now doesn't necessarily have that mainstream utility value just yet, although I do believe that someday in some place Dogecoin will come back and will have a somewhat of a value, but right now it doesn't have that. All it is right now is a perception of value, and remember, price can be one or two things. Price can be a perception of how valuable it is. Now remember guys, a key driver to a price of pretty much anything is supply and demand, and real estate market is going through that right now. Price of wood is going through that right now. And a lot of people who are listening to Elon Musk and Mark Cuban talking well about Dogecoin were probably wondering, hold on, is there something to this? I mean, is there something valuable that I don't know about Dogecoin that we should probably invest in? And a lot of that demand did increase the value or the perception of value of Dogecoin without an actual material fact, whether Dogecoin is valuable or not. And if we translate that thought into the stock market world, a company can build up the hype and say, oh my gosh, we're gonna cure cancer, we're gonna make things automated, we're gonna do a lot of crazy things, and turns out that the company doesn't deliver and doesn't actually create value, then the price to that share of that company will drop and correct itself because really the company just hyped things up and really didn't deliver. And that's pretty much what happened to Dogecoin, but in a way that Dogecoin never never really promised anything, and there's no service or product or anything tangible really that Dogecoin has to offer at the given moment. Again, not saying that Dogecoin will never offer those things in the future. And again, I sincerely do wish that cryptocurrency finds more application to our real world living and our lifestyle, but right now, Dogecoin and many of these altcoins doesn't quite have the application that it's promising, just not yet. And this actually might be a pretty helpful tip when looking at the price of Dogecoin or any cryptocurrency, but the idea behind cryptocurrency or investing in cryptocurrency is you're actually not investing the coins, you're actually investing behind the news and the happenings and the demand and the trends. And that's really about it as far as detecting the signals and signs how the coin is going to move. Now, for example, I will give you a disclaimer. I once was a owner of Dogecoin and actually sold it right before this whole SNL thing happened because I knew that I'm betting not on Dogecoin being valuable, but I'm betting on the fact that the perception of value or the tension behind, oh, is it gonna go up or is it gonna go down? And just by the fact that people are talking about it, I'm betting on that. I'm betting on the attention. So really, if I'm gonna be conflicting and arguing against myself at the moment right now, sure, I did say that Dogecoin doesn't have utility value right now, but what value it does drive is the attention and the amount of eyeballs that people are looking at. And one key lesson I learned as a marketer and as a business owner is that attention can be profited well if it is undervalued attention. And I believe Dogecoin at one point had undervalued attention, and that's when I decided to buy. And of course, when the attention was too high and everyone was talking about it, I decided to sell and leave before this whole SNL drop. Now, of course, did I have a crystal ball being able to predict all that? Not really, but I knew that this was going to be a pretty pinnacle moment as far as Dogecoin prices being up, and therefore I decided to sell when the demand is at all-time high. Now, I do also believe pretty soon, down the future, we will see this demand again and the attention will be back on Dogecoin again. Don't know exactly when to be sure, but I do believe that spotlight will return back to Dogecoin and some of these other altcoins. And for right now, hope that this was a valuable lesson for a lot of people thinking, what the heck just happened? So with that being said, let me go and change the gear a little bit and talk about what I believe to be is an actual investment that you can actually invest for long term and have consistent and stabilized profitable returns in the near future. Now, before we do, be sure to subscribe to our channel. If you guys are enjoying this thought so far, we talk a lot about personal finance, making money, real estate investing, and so on. So we'll love to see you as a family member of the Kwak Brothers. So here's my thoughts on what is a good investment. First thing first, I must have control over the value of investment or some kind of a way to increase the value of the investment by adding more things. For example, in real estate, this is something that I regularly invest in quite a bit. In real estate, I could buy a house that's outdated or needs a lot of work for a very cheap price. So let's say I buy a piece of real estate for, say, $100,000. Now, by adding $25,000 to, let's say, $30,000 of repairs and renovation, I know that this home is going to be worth closer to $200,000, and therefore my profit could be anywhere between $70,000 to $80,000, assuming that the $20,000 to $30,000 is all the costs included. And real estate, as an example I just gave you, has utility value, meaning that it could be used for something that produces value other than just the investment itself. For example, I can live in it, I can rent it out, it provides safety, protection. So the psychology behind how I look at an investment and how valuable it is actually has a lot to do with Maslow's hierarchy of need. So going back to the example of real estate provides physiological safety, it's a shelter, everyone needs a place to live in. So if you look at the Maslow or Maslow's hierarchy of need, housing, real estate does provide a fulfillment to a basic need of safety and for shelter. So along the line of thought, I want to invest in a company or investment opportunity where it touches some of the basic needs like housing, air, food. If I can invest in a company that maybe cleans air or maybe provides clean water, that definitely has a future use, and also it's definitely valuable because of course none of us will be around if we don't have air or food. So whenever I make a decision about investing, I always look at that first. Is there a need and will this investment stick around? And everybody knows that real estate will always be around unless it's a doomsday scenario where a meteor hits Earth and Earth is no longer around, which in that case, I think we have a little bit more things to worry about than investing at that point. But anyways, so that's a little bit of a psychology behind how I look at an investment and what the opportunity looks like. Now, more than just the idea behind the investment, I also look at the people that are in charge of making sure that investment fulfills. For example, everyone loves to invest in Tesla because Elon Musk is the CEO of Tesla. Now, everyone knows that Elon works really hard. He's got work ethics. He's really smart. He's very intelligent. So probably investing with his ideas will pan out okay, knowing that how some of his other companies panned out really well. So when investing in other people's companies or other people's ideas, I want to make sure that the people behind those ideas are also intuitive. They have the knowledge, they have the skill set and experience to make sure that the investment actually grows and becomes profitable. Now, as far as the businesses that I control, such as my real estate education business, my real estate business, my software business, the same rule applies when it comes to me investing in other companies. I want to make sure that I'm improving by learning as much as I can and acquiring as much knowledge as possible about the industry that I'm in. So for example, I'm still learning a lot about real estate investing, macroeconomics, running a software company, and much more. So if you are investing in something that you are directly in control, be sure that you're investing in yourself as well, because a lot of times it is your nuggets, right? The knowledge that you have drives the profit of that investment. But of course, if you're investing in other companies, make sure that people that are running behind the investment of the company is also experienced and knowledge as well. Because at the end of the day, it's not just the idea that it's profitable, it's the people that use the idea and apply it properly that makes it profitable. So make sure you're investing in people as well. So as a way to wrap things up, here's my last few thoughts before we close on the video. And that is invest in long term. And that is one of the big concerns that I have about my fellow millennials as well as the generation after, is that we're chasing short-term gains, not long-term gain. And what I'm seeing a lot with millennial investors and millennial entrepreneurs is they're looking for that quick little spikes here and never really building something that's gonna go and steadily build into a massive titan. And I am not saying that all millennials are that way, but it is a pattern that I see as a majority of people looking for quick cash, and they're jumping from one thing to another without really building depthness into that business or that investment. So what I really want to encourage my fellow millennials as well as the next generation over is to focus on long-term growth, commit to one industry or skill set or expertise, and really dominate that skill set, the activity, business idea, or investment that you're involved with, because it's nearly impossible to reach a pinnacle or mass scale success without long-term commitment. And if all you're doing is short-term bursts of different things and different things at a time, then it's really hard for you to grow something that's long-term and it's actually gonna have a payoff where you don't have to work as much, but the investment is still going for you. No one wants to work forever, right? And I think we all believe that, right? So if you really want to work on something and build something that's going to pay dividends over time without really investing a lot of your time and energy in, that's the process and the commitment that you must make. And that is to invest in long-term, commit to something for at least 5 to 10 years to build it and grow it, and ultimately it's going to pay back. And if that means committing to cryptocurrency and learning how it works for the next 10 years, great. If it means to commit it in real estate and just focusing on that specifically, great. And by committing and focusing onto something, it means that you have to say no to a lot of different things. And that is something that I believe that fellow millennials and the generation after needs to learn and must learn in order to craft and become successful over time. So with that being said, those are my perspective as far as what happened to Dogecoin and what I consider to be a real investment, and my little encouragement for you guys to go out there and kill it and destroy the market, go invest and be great at what you do. And I hope that you guys are profitable in that process. So with that being said, love you all. Go ahead and share this video if you guys loved it, and we'll see you guys in the next video.